Imagine someone says something interesting. You want to tell your friend about it, but you don't want to repeat their exact words. This is where reported speech comes in. Reported speech is how we tell someone what another person said. It's a key part of communication. Reported speech is useful in many situations. We use it in everyday conversations. We use it to tell stories. Journalists use it to report news. Understanding reported speech helps us communicate more clearly and accurately. When we report statements, we often make some changes. One important change is the verb tense. We usually backshift the tense. This means we move the tense one step back in time. For example, let's say someone says, "I am tired." In reported speech we would say, "He said that he was tired." Notice how I'm changed to was. This is backshifting. We also often use the word that to introduce the reported statement. For example, she said that she was hungry. However, we can sometimes omit that. Both ways are grammatically correct. When we use reported speech, we need to pay attention to pronouns. Pronouns are words that replace nouns in a sentence, and they can change depending on the context and the speaker. This is crucial because it helps maintain clarity and coherence in communication. Without the correct pronoun changes, the meaning of the reported speech can become confusing or misleading. Pronouns often change depending on who is speaking. For instance, if the original speaker uses the pronoun I, it will change to he or she when someone else reports the speech. Similarly, my will change to his or her. These changes are necessary to accurately convey the original speaker's message from the perspective of the reporter. This ensures the sentence makes sense in the context of the reporter. It also helps the listener or reader understand who is being referred to in the reported speech. For example, if the original speaker says, "I am going to the store," and you report it as, "He said that he is going to the store," the pronoun change from I to he clarifies that the original speaker is a male. For example, imagine your friend says, "I love my new car." This is a direct speech where the pronouns I and my are used by the original speaker. When you report this to someone else, you need to change the pronouns to match the new context. If you were to report this to someone else, you would say, "He said that he loves his new car." Here the pronouns I and my have been changed to he and his, to reflect the fact that you are reporting what your friend said. This change is essential to maintain the accuracy and clarity of the reported speech. The pronouns I and my change to he and his to reflect the speaker. This is a fundamental rule in reported speech that helps ensure the listener or reader understands who is being referred to. Without these changes, the reported speech could be confusing and unclear. These pronoun changes are essential for clear communication. They help us accurately convey the original speaker's message and ensure that the listener or reader understands who is being referred to. This is especially important in written communication, where the reader does not have the benefit of hearing the original speaker's voice or seeing their facial expressions. They help us avoid confusion and ensure that the reported speech is accurate and easy to understand. By making the necessary pronoun changes, we can maintain the clarity and coherence of the message, making it easier for the listener or reader to follow along and understand the context of the reported speech. Backshifting tenses is a key part of reported speech. When we report what someone else has said, we often need to change the tense of the verbs in the original statement. This process is known as backshifting. It helps to convey that the action or state described in the original statement happened at an earlier time. Here's a simple guide to help you understand how to backshift tenses in reported speech. Present simple changes to past simple. This is one of the most common changes you'll encounter. For example, the sentence, "I am happy" becomes "he said he was happy" when reported. This change indicates that the happiness was felt at the time of speaking, but we are now reporting it at a later time. Present continuous changes to past continuous. This is another common transformation in reported speech. For instance, "She is eating" becomes "she said she was eating." This shift shows that the action of eating was ongoing at the time of the original statement but is now being reported later. Past simple changes to past perfect. This change is crucial for indicating that an action was completed before another action in the past. For example, "I went to the store" becomes "he said he had gone to the store." This backshift shows that the trip to the store happened before the reporting. These are just a few examples of how tenses change in reported speech. There are many other tenses and forms that also undergo backshifting. There are other tense changes to learn as well. For instance, present perfect changes to past perfect, and future. simple changes to future in the past. Each of these changes helps to accurately convey the timing of the original statement. The important thing is to remember that the tense usually shifts back in time when we use reported speech. This helps to maintain clarity and accuracy in communication. By understanding and practicing these changes, you can become more proficient in using reported speech correctly. Section 5. Time and place expressions in reported speech. Time and place expressions often change in reported speech. This is because the context of the original statement has shifted. For example, today becomes that day, tomorrow becomes the next day, and here becomes there. These changes help to maintain the original meaning of the statement in the context of the report. It's important to remember that not all time and place expressions change in reported speech. For example, if the original statement refers to a specific date or time, it might not change. Section 6. Reporting questions. Yes, no questions. Reporting questions is a little different from reporting statements. For yes, no questions, we use if or whether to introduce the reported question. For example, are you coming? Becomes he asked if I was coming. Notice how the word order changes in the reported question. The subject comes before the verb. We also use backshifting for yes, no questions. Are you coming? Uses the present continuous tense. In the reported question, we use the past continuous tense. He asked if I was coming. Section 7. Reporting questions. What questions? What questions are questions that start with words like what, where, when, why, and how. When we report these questions, we keep the wh word. However, the word order changes, similar to yes, no questions. For example, what are you doing? Becomes he asked what I was doing. Again, the subject comes before the verb in the reported question. We also use backshifting for wh questions. What are you doing? Uses the present continuous. In the reported question, we use the past continuous. He asked what I was doing. Section 8. Practice makes perfect exercises and quizzes. This section is designed to help you solidify your understanding of reported speech through a variety of exercises and quizzes. By practicing regularly, you will be able to use reported speech more naturally and accurately in your daily conversations and writing. Now that we've covered the basics of reported speech, it's time to practice. Practice is essential because it helps reinforce what you've learned and allows you to apply the rules of reported speech in different contexts. Whether you're a student preparing for exams or someone looking to improve your English skills, these exercises will be beneficial. Here are some exercises to help you master this important skill. Start by changing direct statements into reported speech. This will help you get comfortable with the structure and rules. For example, take the statement, I am going to the park, she said. Your task is to convert it into reported speech. Change these statements into reported speech. I am going to the park, she said. This becomes she said she was going to the park. Another example is we saw a movie last night, they said. This should be changed to they said they had seen a movie the previous night. Practicing these transformations will help you understand how tenses change in reported speech. We saw a movie last night, they said. This becomes, they said they had seen a movie the previous night. Notice how the tense changes from past simple to past perfect. This is a common change in reported speech, and practicing it will make it easier to remember. Change these questions into reported speech. Where is the library? She asked. This becomes, she asked where the library was. Another example is, did you finish your homework? He asked. This should be changed to, he asked if you had finished your homework. Practicing these will help you get used to the word order and tense changes in reported questions. Did you finish your homework? He asked. This becomes, he asked if you had finished your homework. Notice how the auxiliary verb did is dropped and the main verb finish is changed to its past perfect form, had finished. This is a key aspect of reported questions. Choose the correct reported speech option. I will call you later, he said. This can be reported in two ways. Option A, he said he will call me later. Option B, he said he would call me later. Understanding the difference between these options is crucial for mastering reported speech. Option A, he said he will call me later. This option is less common and is usually used when the reporting verb is in the present or future tense. Option B, he said he would call me later. This option is more common and is used when the reporting verb is in the past tense. Practicing these options will help you understand when to use each one. Are you hungry? She asked. This can be reported as, she asked if I am hungry, or she asked if I was hungry. Understanding the context and the tense of the reporting verb will help you choose the correct option. Option A. She asked if I am hungry. This option is used when the reporting verb is in the present or future tense. Option B. She asked if I was hungry. This option is used when the reporting verb is in the past tense. Practicing these options will help you become more confident in using reported speech correctly. You can find more exercises and quizzes online or in grammar books. There are many resources available that provide additional practice and explanations. Websites, apps, and grammar books often have exercises specifically designed to help you master reported speech. The more you practice, the more confident you will become in using reported speech correctly. Consistent practice will help you internalize the rules and make it easier to use reported speech naturally in your conversations and writing. So keep practicing and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn and improve. Section 9. Conclusion: Mastering reported speech. Reported speech is an essential part of clear and accurate communication. It allows us to convey what others have said without directly quoting them. By understanding the rules of backshifting tenses, pronoun changes, and changes to time and place expressions, we can master this important skill. Remember to practice regularly using exercises and quizzes. With time and effort, you can confidently use reported speech in your everyday conversations, writing, and understanding of English.